Oh, all right. All right. Well, welcome everybody. This is the first session of our weekly training. I'm Manny, your host for today. I'm the owner and CEO of One Up Solar, and I'm here to kind of show you just some of the starting tips that we have. Using our system and using our platform can be sort of complicated for folks that are just joining the industry or that are just joining us in general. And might already be you might already be a seasoned solar salesperson or consultant, but some of the things that we put into the process are a little bit more advanced, and that's because we have folks from different walks of life coming in and joining us. And so let's get into it. I'm going to share my other screen here. All right. So I'm using an iPad to start out because iPad I feel like is one of the most useful sales presentation tools. Not only because it's portable, it's easy to use, but a lot of the apps that are being developed for sales are going to be some are even exclusive to iPad. I don't know if you guys have come across it, but there's a couple such as Sunobi um, and Quativa and things like that, where you can only use an iPad to really go in there and mess around with the settings. But the first part of this training is I'm showing you guys right now the One Up Solar phone desktop app. So this is an app that I'll post this link here in the comments. You can actually get this installed on your phone on the background there, on your home screen is what it's called. Once you open it, it'll prompt you to download it and put it in there as an app. And so once you have it in here and you put it somewhere where you can access it easily, you're not going to be digging around for these forms. We use forms primarily through Jotform because Jotform has integrations and things like that we can use to automate processes like emails, SMS, text messages, calendars. So it's really a smart tool to use when you're setting appointments, when you're requesting proposals. Hang on a sec. It's really a useful tool that we have to do all these things because we can program a lot of different third-party apps and stuff to it. So we've found that using Jotform has helped us significantly improve our automations and stuff like that. So for now, we have our top forms that we use that are visible to mostly sales reps. We're going to have the first one at the top here, which is a proposal request form. Let's just get right into here. We've recently changed this. If you guys have been using this before, now it looks a lot different. We made it into like a card style, so it's easier to kind of navigate and go through. So I'll just do a quick one here. There are a few fields here that are mandatory, such as the phone numbers and the customer name and the address and stuff like that. Everything's kind of formatted so that you can't really make a mistake much. So this is like a 10-digit phone number. The email, you can only put in something that has the something .at and a something. So that's what the email looks like. Now we've recently changed this feature as well. Now it's tied into Google Maps. So now you don't have to go in there and type in the street, the city, the zip code, everything. You're just going to start typing. And then once it finds the address you're looking for, just go ahead and click it and then click next, right? We all know and we're familiar with that. So that saves us a lot of time. Type of home, obviously, we want to know what kind of home it is because some of these finance companies are going to have some restrictions as it relates to property types. We know that, for example, leases, Sunrun, SunPower, Sonova, they're going to have some restrictions with like multifamily dwellings, with mobile homes and stuff like that. So if it comes in here and you want to lease, it might automatically disqualify it, or we might have to do some sort of purchase option, right? So it's important for us to know so we're not wasting time going through these proposal requests. This is one to focus on right now. This is when you get to this point, you're going to select what type of proposal you want. So now we have three different options. The first option you're going to see here is the Aurora option. This is a little bit more advanced. So if you're a seasoned representative, and you've done your research on the property, you go on Google Earth, you look at it, you talk to the customer, you've already asked them a few probing questions such as, why are you getting solar? Is this an investment property? Is this is this your primary residence? Are you retired? Do you need a tax incentive? Would you want to invest in solar? Do you want to lease PPA? You want to ask these probing questions before you go in there, pitching whatever product you think is best for them, because that might not always be the case for a customer. So just to be specific about that, you're going to want to, if you don't know what the customer wants or needs yet, or you haven't had the opportunity to talk to them, I highly recommend you always get on the phone before you walk into a presentation and ask these probing questions so you're not walking in there blind. So that said, a summary: Aurora is for the more advanced. You know what you want, you just want to put it together, and if you want to adjust panels or you want to adjust the pricing or financing, you're going to have to either text our support, our design sales support number, which is I'm going to put it right here. Or Luis, can you go ahead and put that in the comments for those of you who don't have it? The phone number is a 619-212-8042. We're going to put that in the chat for you guys. And also the email to look out for with sales support is proposals, plural, proposals at oneupsolar.com. Put those two, save it in your contacts as One Up Solar sales support, and you're always going to have access to us. You can send us a text message. You can call us. If it's an in-home emergency, I suggest you pick up the phone and call us. Otherwise, whenever you request an Aurora or any of these proposals, you're going to get an email back to your inbox, which looks like this. Let me just pull it up so you guys know what I'm talking about. Proposal ready. Just search proposal ready, and you'll just go to one of these emails that looks like this. So if you see here, you're going to get the information. It's going to be directed to you, the sales rep. The email is going to be in here. So you're going to get a copy of this, the customer ID, and then down here you're going to see the proposal link, which is a drive folder where we put in the utility bill and all the proposals and the proposal information. And that looks sort of like this. All right, and so in here, what the heck was that? That's the first time that pops up. We need your permission. No thanks. Jeez. All right, so in here, if you ordered an Aurora design, it's going to be in this folder here. Otherwise, if you didn't, and we have another proposal for you, it'll typically be in a Google document that looks like this, and the link will be right in there as well. So let me just show you an example of a Gosolo proposal. So you're just going to go in here, click on that link, and it's going to open the proposal. A lot of times we're going to set these up for you guys so that it's a good deal, that it's set up in such a way that it's a good deal for you and the customer. And a lot of the details are going to be set right here. So the system size, the production, how much offset. The net EPC is anything after dealer fees and adders. So for those of you who don't know what net EPC stands for, it's the net install cost. So which means that whatever your base is, and this net EPC is, you're going to deduct your base from this net EPC, and that's your commission. So that's pretty simple right there. This is where you're going to find how much money you make on these deals, is by deducting your red line or your base cost from this net EPC, and that's all commission. Now, whether that's a split with One Up Solar because it's a provided lead from us, or a split with any of your other service providers, such as Solar Exclusive or anything like that, then there's going to be some sort of percentage of split there. I don't know what that is with you guys, but anyway, going on to the next subject here. So that's the email. Before I move out of there, proposal ready. Take your time to kind of read this email, right? At the bottom, you'll see it says, please review and let me know if you have any questions, or if you want to make any changes, just reply to this, all right? Just go ahead and hit reply and say, I want to add 2 more panels, something like that. And then we'll get the changes done for you right away. So that's the easiest way to get changes on any proposal that is not an interactive proposal like Sunobi or like Gosolo. Okay. Right now, let me go open this file really quick. Okay, so we've gone through the app. So you guys should all install that app, and we're going to put the link in the description. Let me see. I'm not in the description, in the chats. This is not a YouTube video. Okay, the link to the Forms app is going to be in this chat as well. So go ahead and download that and make sure you store it on your phone there. And so Aurora, we kind of went over that a little bit. Where's the template? There's no Aurora template in here. Huh? I think it's in here. Okay. Is this the demo PDF? Okay. Yeah, this is kind of what it's going to look like. We're just putting the finishing touches on it. It should be ready by the end of the week. But this is the PDF proposal that your customers are going to get. Our in-house designer did a really good job of designing it. We've put together a really nice sales tool. I kind of went in there. I've been modifying this with her myself, just making sure that we deliver a presentation in such a way that works for a homeowner. So in delivering a presentation with a homeowner, you always want to start with the utility. All right, the utility information, show them around their utility bill a little bit, help them understand what they're paying for so that they can feel a little bit of pain and remorse, right? That's like rule number 1 of selling solar is you want to make them understand what they're paying for, whether it's transmission fees, whether it's just high rates all year, time of use, all these things. You need to explain it to them because a lot of these people don't know and they're just used to paying something on auto pay and forget about it, right? So once you show them what they're paying for in terms of again, all the fees that the utility companies charge, how much they're paying per kilowatt hour is the most important, I think, to help them understand, because when you sell solar, you don't want them to focus on the contract amount. You want them to focus on the rate per kilowatt hour, whether it be rate per kilowatt hour utility versus rate per kilowatt hour solar, which is also known as levelized cost of energy. We'll get into that in another segment when we get into like sales training and stuff like that. That won't be today. But I just want to show you how we designed this Aurora proposal to go and effectively pitch a proposal showing them the different features that their utility company has for them. So here we get into a different slide where it says switching to solar today and avoid spending. This says $0 because it's just a sample, but what this would say, it's going to accumulate all the energy they would spend if they didn't go solar over 30 years, including inflation. So this figure is going to be roughly over $150,000, right, on average. So go solar today and avoid paying $150,000 or $200,000 over the next 30 years with Southern California Edison. And then there's a little note here. It says, as an example, the cost of electricity has climbed from an average of 8 cents per kilowatt hour in 1985 to 13.5 cents in 2020, making it a 66.7% rate increase in 35 years. So in 35 years, rates have increased over 66%. So if you take that and divide it by 35 years, you'll see what the annual inflation rate. It should be, I don't know what it is, maybe 2 or 3% in actuality. So this is an important little slide to kind of go over. And so then we get into clean energy tomorrow, which is your solar specifications. Now the Aurora design is nice because it gives some really, really accurate shading. I want to say probably the most accurate remote um, diagnostic tool that we have available to us in comparison to, say, Sunobi or Gosolo. You're going to get a better shading report and a shading analysis from Aurora. It's going to put the panels on there nicely. Our designers do a really good job of making sure that we're putting panels on a roof on a design that are going to be closer to an actual fit rather than just, blasting all kinds of panels on a roof and hoping that, that when we get there to do the site audit, we can fit a 20 kilowatt system on a roof that can only fit 8. So not only are you going to be disappointed, but also the homeowner is going to be really disappointed. And at that point, to backtrack on that is going to be difficult. So I would say if you have a house that has a lot of shading, this is really important, guys. If you have a house that has a lot of shading, it's in the middle of the woods, there's not a good image, it's a small roof, they have a huge bill, like, let's do an Aurora report before we start pitching, some deal that might not work for them. California, for the most part, we're not going to run into the situation where there's heavy shading and the houses all kind of look like this, right? So if you kind of take a look around the neighborhood, we're using about 25% of the roof space and we're offsetting 100% of the bill. So for all you remote sellers, if you can focus on California, do so. So here we're going to have all the equipment specifications, the system size, the panel quantity, the manufacturer, the inverter type is going to be listed here. The production, the solar rate per kilowatt hour. Again, this is a focal point right here. You want to zoom in on how much they're paying per kilowatt hour, because when you show them the cost per kilowatt hour for solar, whether you're selling a lease or whether you're selling a purchase, you're always going to want to pitch the rate per kilowatt hour in solar, right? Don't talk about $30,000 loan. I mean, try to avoid that, but payment is directly influenced by the rate per kilowatt hour, specifically on a lease or a PPA. But you can also use rate per kilowatt hour to sell a loan. And if you want to switch it to a PPA right away, all you have to do is switch it to 16 or 17 cents for a PPA. Boom, you're good. Then you've effectively given them the option to lease the system with a 2.9 or 2.4% rate escalator. Energy offset, this says 0 now, but that's going to be anywhere between 100 to 150 or whatever. Whatever we design. That's very dependent on the utility company. A lot of other utilities that aren't in California are either going to be limited to 100% or the financials. It's not going to make financial sense to oversize the system by 20% in a place like Arkansas or Illinois, or I don't know. It depends, right? On the incentives, the state incentives. If your state has what are called renewable energy certificates or SRECs, it's a different dynamic in different places. So just let us, if you're not sure of the place where you're selling, or if it's your first time pitching in that utility or in that city or that state, let us make some recommendations. We'll go ahead and design something that works for you. So Aurora, again, we're going to get into a couple more slides. Understanding net metering. Now, I designed this myself. I took Aurora's template and we went ahead and switched it all up because I don't like the way their templates are pitching solar. It goes from the cost of solar to the design to like utility, and it's just backwards. Like, you don't want to pitch like that. First, you want to start with your energy. If you noticed, I haven't even told them how much it costs yet. That we'll wait till the end. We want them to understand their energy. We want them to understand what solar is. We want them to understand net metering, right? And how that works. So there's a little blurb right here. There's a little page that kind of says net metering is a billing mechanism that credits energy for system owners, blah, blah, blah. So the next slide here is going to show, on the left side, you're going to see 0% offset, but this should typically be anywhere between 100 and 125. This is your energy offset, okay? On the right side, you're going to see utility offset. That's different, right? You're not going to be able to offset your utility bill 100%. And that's never going to go above 100%. Why? Because when you talk about savings from your utility bill, you can only go up to 100%, but net metering isn't going to allow that because you still have to pay for non-bypassable charges, NBCs, minimum payments, meter fees, whatever you want to call it, service fees. There's still going to be a minimum payment to the utility company, and that's what that slide on the right has to show. Now, this again, this is going to look more like 100% on the left and 92% on the right. Somebody asked us this question the other day. Is like, why does it say 100% and 92? It's contradicting itself. No, it's not. It's one is your energy offset. The other one is your utility bill offset. Two different things: energy and utility bill cost. Obviously, two different things. Energy is kilowatt hours. Your utility bill is dollars, right? So you can't offset $150. Like, that just doesn't make sense. Anyway, it gives a brief explanation, so you can go through this and explain to the customer, although you're going to offset all of your energy plus 50%, which means an extra reserve, which you can sell back. And I think we did a pretty good job of explaining that the goal of installing solar panels is to provide energy consumers with a cleaner, more affordable source of electricity energy, which is expressed in kilowatt hours. Property owners typically enjoy producing more power than their usage history shows to account for future upgrades such as electric vehicles, swimming pools, and home additions, and much more. So this is a great way to upsell your customer on more solar, right? And then on the right side, you're going to explain, yeah, you're still going to have a minimum bill, period. All right, so your savings investment plan, then we're going to get into the incentives. If you notice, I haven't gotten into how much it costs yet. I'm going into the positive points of this, right? National incentives, local incentives, rebates. Like, before you even make any payments, you're going to get a tax incentive. You're going to get this and that and this, right? Obviously, depending on the finance company. If you use, for example, Concert, you may pick up a 25-year loan with 1-year deferred payments, okay? So that means that before they make any payments to solar or anything, they're going to get a $10,000 tax credit in their pocket. And they're not going to have a utility bill. They're going to pocket all their savings. And so that's the kind of stuff you can explain with this slide, right? The next one is, by adding solar to your home, you will effectively increase the value by at least 4%, according to national average home sales in America. Another very important focal point when you're selling a purchase is that you don't only sell people savings, you're also selling them energy equity, okay? Energy equity, what does that mean? It means that you're no longer renting power, now you're buying power. Homeowner, do you remember when you used to rent your home, how sucky it was to have to pay a landlord rent every month? Aren't you happy that now you have, even though you pay a mortgage, that's just an investment plan for you, because now you're building equity on your house? Well, it's the same thing with solar, right? You're building 4% equity on top of whatever your real estate market gives you. So is that a good choice or not? You tell me. So a lot of people forget to mention this part. Now, we're not done with the template. We still have the cost, the loan amounts, the storage, and all these other things that are going to be in this really nice PDF. But that's Aurora for you guys. I'm going to open it up to some questions. If you guys have any questions till now, let's take a minute while I pull up the other proposal, and go ahead and ask away. No questions are dumb questions, okay? This is what we're here for.
Aurora is pretty knowledgeable about all the markets that we work here in the contiguous United States, so we don't have to worry about if we're working in Illinois, Arizona, California. They're going to be hip to the state and federal incentives on the proposal.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. So the federal incentives, the state incentives, the SRECs, the rebate, any rebates that you guys want to add in there that are local, that are provided by your company. For example, XYZ Solar, whatever, you can add a rebate if you guys want to. You just got to let us know to build it in there, and that'll be like a cashback rebate to them. But yeah, Aurora typically will pick up the rebates as we go. And specifically, actually, our designer will go in there and look for incentives in the desire page to make sure that we've accounted for anything. And this goes for commercial as well, okay? I'm going to open up this page just to kind of let you know where these tools are available currently. So Gosolo, Sunobi, Aurora, if you can see, Aurora is available in all the states. Currently, Sunobi, we are still working on building in the installers. It's a lot of work, guys. I have to tell you, working with these proposal tools and these teams, we really have to customize the way that we do things because we're just a different breed of company, right? We do things way differently than others do. Because we have so many service providers, we're really agnostic as to who installs our systems. I mean, I wouldn't go too far to say agnostic, but we don't have a preference, right? We do know, who does a little bit better in some situations, in some states, who's faster, who pays out quicker, who pays out less, who has communication issues and things like that. I mean, for the most part, everybody has communication issues, and there's just, something that the industry is just going to have to kind of work around. But we try our best to just, to have that open line of communication with them. And that's kind of the negotiations that the conversations that we have during our negotiations with these EPCs is that we need 100% transparency. We need direct communication fast because people don't like to be in the dark, specifically customers. So as you go through this list, you guys already have this list. Obviously, the pricing column here is hidden because, different people have different pricing, and that just depends on the experience and the volume and all these other things that you may or may not have, right? So this list here gets updated almost on a weekly basis. There's a link here for every installer, which includes red lines. It includes, not red lines, I'm sorry. It includes adders, dealer fees. Let's just open up this one as an example. Why is it not letting me open a link? Open link, okay. As an example, you're going to get this. So we take our time to put these things in sheets like this, and there's tabs at the bottom where you can just toggle around. The first tab is going to be the adder section. Now, this is important when you're building in your Gosolo proposal, and we'll go through the Gosolo here next. Here's where you get all the information to put in your adders, to put in to know what the dealer fees are is really important. The dealer fee is definitely not something that is standard across the board for every installer in the country. Different installers have different dealer fees, and that's going to depend much on whether or not they are a first look, whether or not they have a large volume with that installer, they have any, non-compete agreements or whatever, they're going to get a better dealer fee. So and these are split by installer, by finance company. So all this information is here, guys. We don't hide anything. And it's important to know where the stuff is because you're going to need it when you are fine-tuning your proposals. The next one we're going to look at is Gosolo. And this is where you're going to want to keep that sheet I just showed you. You're going to want to keep that sheet close to home. And we're going to try to put it in the app that we're sending you guys so you can put it on your screen. We're going to try to put that sheet in that same app so you guys can always have access to it. So let me open up a Gosolo so you guys can look at what this proposal looks like and how to use it. Seriously? I have so many accounts here. Let's see. I think it's this one. Let's just use my customer here. Well, I don't like using Safari to open stuff. Let's use Chrome. So you guys are going to get links to these proposals. And your link is not going to ask you to log in. You're just going to get the link that looks like this. And you're just going to be able to open it. You can modify it, change the pricing, change the panels, and do all these things. Now, specifically for this one, I know which installer I want to use because it's located up in NorCal. So I know, it's a recommendation that we put in here. So we go in and we select, Hanwha 395s because that's what's in the sheet that I just showed you guys for that installer. Their typical or standard equipment is in here. And so you go in here, and then up at the top left here, top right, how many of you guys are familiar with Gosolo?
I've used it before.
Okay. Corey, Tyler?
Yeah,
Is
I'm
this,
not I'm not familiar with it at all. I just got into this I just start looking at learning the information pretty much. I'm not too familiar with Podio or anything like that.
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, me too.
All right. So this is a kind of a first time thing, but it's also good to have that we're going to show you this because the way we had Go Solo develop ours is much different. You're not going to see this anywhere because again, we have 40 something different installation companies, and Go Solo is typically designed for one single install company to have one, their equipment, their pricing. And so we had to modify it so that we can go in there and add and change and do whatever we want. And so we usually order the Go Solo and then give it to you with all the settings already in place. So you don't have to go in there and do this all the time. You're just going to have, for the most part, you're just going to come in here and edit the panels if they want more or less offset. So you're just going to come in here, click and add panels and delete. Okay, save. So if your customer wants to delete panels or add panels, that's one of the features that you guys can move. If you want to change the solar panel in general, be careful because that might change the installer that you're using, and they might not be available in that area, or they might not have a good reputation in the area or something like that. So just go by the recommendation, or if you know what you're doing and you know what installer you want to use, then just go ahead and select the right panel that belongs to that installer, right? Also with the inverter, same thing. Some installers use Enphase, some use SolarEdge. So we're gonna prepare these. So it's called a preposal. So we go in there and we just we adjust everything to recommendation spec, and then you can come in here and adjust the pricing, adjust the panels, and even the usage. To adjust usage, you're gonna want to come in here and click on these bars. So let's say you didn't have the utility bill before your proposal or before your presentation, but now you have it. You can come in here. You can either add the annual usage as a bulk, or you can go in there and change every month. It's always better to do the monthly, but if you don't have time for that, just come in here and put in the annual usage, and you're good to go. Okay. And this is going to show you a good graphical representation of what net metering looks like, right? So how does net metering work? You see these bars that are going across the blue line there? That means that you're using more power than you produce. And all these other bars that have a space in between here, like these are all credits. So I can already see that I'm going to have more credits than I am that I'm going to have over consumption, right? So this is at 112% offset. All right, we do have a 30-year extended warranty option that we can offer to anybody, and it's through Solar Insure. It's a really great third-party solar insurance, and what it does is it gives them a 30-year warranty on the equipment and a 30-year warranty on roof penetrations. Okay, so it's the best warranty in the industry. And you can add it on top of the manufacturer's warranty. You can add it on top of the installer's warranty. So they'll have 3 warranties with this one. And this is by far going to be the best one. So if you click on this, you'll see and you'll notice it adds $3 to the payment. That's nothing. Okay, it's nothing to get an extra 20-year roof warranty, because most installers will only give 10 years on a roof. Okay, that's important to note, guys. If people are asking you what my warranty is on a roof, then whenever we penetrate the roof, it's not going to be 25 years. Mostly, for the most part, installers only give 10 years. So if you click this checkbox, you're going to give them a 30-year warranty, and they're going to be happy as a clam. And it only adds $3 to their payment. Now, you don't make a commission on that, in case you were wondering. It's just an add-on feature for the customer for you to help you sell more deals. All right, in this one, this is a California deal, so obviously, this is a super great deal. Again, we're going back to rate per kilowatt hour This is how much they pay in California. I want to say this is PG&E. And then over here, the solar payment, right? Now, this is a really healthy commission on this one. If you click on the $185 payment, it'll tell you what the pricing is, and you can adjust it. Now, we have it set at $4 per watt net EPC. Again, the net EPC is the amount after all the fees and adders are taken off, including the finance fees. And there's a breakdown of these finance fees and everything right there, okay, including our network fee. Everything's in here. And then after all that, you're still making, you're still at a $4 base margin. And so you're going to subtract your commission base to the $4, and whatever that is, if it's, $1.50 or $1.80 per watt, then you just, that's a huge margin. In this case, if my base, just for example, for ease of understanding, if my base was $3, I set it at $4, I'm making $1 per watt. $1 per watt also means you're making $1,000 per every kilowatt installed. So kilowatt, obviously 3 decimals, move it over, and then you're in cents per watt. If you move it over 3 decimals, you're talking $100 per kilowatt, right? So this is either $1 per watt or $1,000 per kilowatt installed. And this is a 10.27 kilowatt system. So if your base is $3, which is high, I don't think anybody's base is $3. You're effectively making $10,270 on this deal, saving the customer almost 50% or more. Actually more, because 34 cents versus 15 cents. Oops. That's more than 50% savings. So zero out of pocket, more than 50% savings, 4% property value increase. And I mean, you can name all the benefits to it. Now, all of these proposals are going to have this little bar where you can slide it across. It's on the left side here. It's the inflation bar. And if you set it over in 5 years, their rate goes to 41 cents, and yours on the right stays the same at 15. 10 cents, 50 cents kilowatt hour, or 10 years, 15 years, 61 cents, and so on and so forth. Okay. So, I mean, that's pretty huge. That's great that you're able to show them this, and understand how they're going to protect themselves against inflation, how they're going to save more than 50% on their current budgeting, and they're going to increase their property value. And over the life of 25 years, over the term of 25 years, their savings are going to be upwards of $130,000. Okay. So there's not, that's over a 20% rate of return. Okay. And in investments, any investment that yields a 20% return is, it's pretty good investment, especially if it's on your home. So here, obviously you can come in, not only can you change the pricing here, you can also go here and click on adders. You can click on adders, and then remember that sheet I showed you guys where the adder pricing is? It's different for every installer, so you're going to want to look up the adder if it's a main service panel, and this installer particularly charges $1,800, and some charge $3,000. Just so you know, I don't know why, but there's a huge spectrum of fees. So you can just go in here and add that. If you know it's a ground mount and they're charging $5,000 flat fee for a ground mount, there you go. Now you've added a ground mount and a main service panel, and that's your pricing. You're still saving them almost 50%, even with these 2 adders on there. So this tool is really cool and simple for anyone to use, but it definitely still takes a little bit of expertise to know how to move these things around. Let me just show you really quick the button here for the financing. So you can come in here, toggle this, and then you can switch the financing around. So Good Leap is a very typical one. Concert is another great one that we've been using a lot. This again offers 1 year no payments, or not no payments, deferred 1 year payments. It offers the best dealer fees, and a 1.49. For 25 years is a great deal. And we're going to have this in more states pretty soon. I'm going to get rid of these adders because typically we're not going to do that many. Just make sure you hit update when you do that. So with the Concert in California, we're at $170. Let me see. Okay, so another thing I wanted to show you guys can also switch this over to a lease or a PPA in California. Have they built it in this one? Sunrun, here we go. We can do a Sunrun monthly service plan for 25 years with a 2.9% rate escalator. Click save, and then there you go. There's their estimated payment at a 16.5 cent rate per kilowatt hour. You can click on the rate per kilowatt hour here and update it. All right, if you know you wanna sell them a PPA at 14 cents because you want to give them a good deal, just so you guys know, 14 cents means right around 350 net EPC. If you go to 18 cents, it's probably around $4 EPC. Just rule of thumb. Okay, all these we get quotes from Sunobi, Sunrun, and SunPower on PPAs. So we're going to go and quote all three of them to see who gives us a better deal, okay? We're not just going to go with Sunrun right off the bat. So update, there you go. So that's what a lease would look like, okay? Or a PPA, same thing. Leases and PPAs, not a much different. There's not a lot of difference between the two. Some people ask, well, what's the big difference? Well, one is power purchase agreement. You pay for the power you produce, and the other one is lease. It's almost like it's the same thing, really. At the end of the day, a PPA is a levelized lease. So, and then whenever you're ready to get this deal signed, let's say the customer said, you know what, I prefer to buy it. Let's go. I like the Good Leap one. I like the I like the $170 payment. Let me see with Concert. Boom. See, $15 less, and it's the same interest rate. Why is this cheaper? Because the dealer fees are lower. Okay, so me as a sales rep, I want to show the customer a better deal. Even if I want to mark it up a little bit and make it the same, and not leave so much margin on the table, shit, I can build this up to 30 cents. Okay, there you go. 182. Not much difference. You just increase your commission by $200 a kilowatt right there, just by doing that. So why let us do and make these changes for you guys? Because we know these dealer fees by heart. Like, we do this all day. This is what we do, is we go out and we find who has the best dealer fees, best pricing, blah, 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 and you're going to get the highest commission through us. And then once the customer says, okay, they're ready to go, here's what you guys are going to do. You're going to go to this little settings bar, and you're going to go share or present, and then instead of the customer's email here, you're going to switch this out, and you're going to send it to proposals@oneupsolar.com, and then you're going to hit the button that says send email. That's going to alert us that you're signing this deal, and this is what you want us to send the contracts to. Okay, another thing you can do is you can copy it to the clipboard, and you can just text it to us, or you can go right here and send it to the 619 or the support number. But always remember to do this as an alert to let us know, hey guys, I'm getting ready to sign this deal. Please start prepping it. That's giving us the go ahead, or not the go ahead. It's just preparing us to draft up the contracts while you go in here and check the credit. And then the next step for you to do is to hit this qualify button. And it's going to take them to this credit authorization form. You'll notice it doesn't take them to the lender's portal, and I'll tell you why. The reason we don't send them to the lender portal is because in the case that they fail credit with one partner, we can always put them through another partner and change some things around. They might be able to qualify them through Good Leap or through Concert. If Good Leap doesn't qualify them, maybe Sunlight will. And so the one thing you don't want your customer to do is put their credit information 10 times. They're going to get exhausted. Not only that, but once they get that email that says you're not approved or you failed credit, they might even just, they might just not even be interested at all, and they're going to feel like crap. And so do me a favor, get this done, because with this information, we're going to do a soft pull on, various lenders. And that's a soft pull. It doesn't mean that there's going to be an inquiry on their credit report for doing this. We're just going to go out and search the best rate for them. And this is what car dealerships do. If any of you have ever bought a car or sold at a dealership, this is what they do. They get your authorization to run credit, and they're going to check it with their lenders. So it's the way to do it. Most other installers are just going to have they're going to take you directly to Good Leap to sign that deal. So what that means is that we're going to go in there and we're going to make sure that we run the applications. And running the credit application is an art. Let me tell you guys, it's not just like, oh, I'm going to put this in there and then cross my fingers. There's certain things you want to do in there, in that credit application, to make sure that the lenders look at it as a favorable application. Okay. Again, this is like sales 101. You have to kind of move some things around and just we know which lenders are more worried about DTI, we know which lenders need a cosigner and things like that. So so this form it's not a long form, it's pretty short. It's going to ask the same standard questions that any other form is going to use. And it's also going to tie it to the sales rep. So at the end here, it's going to say who's your sales rep, and so we know that this is coming from you. These forms are also available in Spanish in case you have a Spanish speaking only customer, then you can go ahead and do that. So that's Gosolo. It's a really nice tool. Again, you can come down here, you can show them, more savings features, property value increase, how much their property value might increase if they go solar, how much carbon or how many tons of carbon they're offsetting. Also here, there's like FAQs. They can type in how long will my installation take? There you go. So you can come in here. This is a really helpful tool for newer sales reps that kind of get hung up on some things. If there's who takes care of panel maintenance, can I store excess energy? Routine maintenance is the responsibility of the homeowner. Ooh, I don't know if I like that one. That's not true in all cases. All right, the process, step 1, step 2, step 3, activation, all these things. And then here's a breakdown of everything: rate per kilowatt hour, current utility, and then, there's just a breakdown at the bottom. So in a nutshell, that's Gosolo. It's a really nice tool, but it's also expensive. So we're going to credit these Gosolos 1 out of every 5. One sale. So every sale that you make, we're going to give you 5 credits for Gosolo. Now, if you're coming through Solar Exclusive, they're going to cover your first batch, meaning that, the first 10, when we're going to do a mentor training program. So those of you that are new and that, really aren't catching everything that I'm saying here, don't worry. You can always reach out to me. I have another mentor who I'm bringing on to help you guys, and we're always available to help you guys succeed. I'm going to put my phone number in here so you guys can save it. I'm going to put my burner phone number, my Google Voice, because I don't want you guys having my personal number for personal reasons. Also because I can tell Google Voice not to send me phone calls at 11 o'clock at night. So 323 628 4298. This is Manny Renteria. And believe me, guys, I'm obsessed with my job. I love solar. I love what I do. That's why I've been doing it for 15 years. If you guys have any legitimate questions, concerns, or anything that you need help with closing a deal, closing deals is my favorite thing to do on earth, besides other stuff. But I will literally step aside whatever I'm doing and help you guys close a deal if you guys are in home with a customer or are having trouble with something. Specifically with in-home stuff, I will always be there to help you guys when I can, obviously. I have family and I have a newborn too. So if I'm at a family dinner, I might not be able to step out, but I'll help you guys get it through there. But for the most part, I'm pretty good at picking up my text messages and stuff like that, and helping you guys out when you need it. Okay.
So Manny.
Yeah.
So are you going to go over Sunobi, or is
Yeah.
Sunobi going to be something you guys do?
Sunobi is our last one, and this one will be pretty quick. Go ahead. Sorry, if you had anything you wanted to finish with on that.
Well, I've already been through an hour, like a whole presentation with the Solar Academy.
Oh yeah. Jake and
yeah,
Joe.
It's amazing. Maybe it's a 2-hour deal. It was pretty awesome. So I just wondered it. Yeah, but
yeah, I mean, I'm sure they did a pretty good job of explaining it. and because it was specific to Sunobi. These guys are great, Joe and Jake. I mean, they're my favorite people in the industry. Some of my favorite people in the industry. And they have a lot of knowledge. And so with Sunobi, I mean, I saw this as a professional, and I'm like, dude, I don't mind paying. They charge 5 cents per watt on every sale. So that means you can do 20 proposals, and you're not going to pay for them until you get a sale through it. Okay, which I think is a sweet deal, because it's going to help you polish up your skills and things like that. Okay. Now,
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just wanted to ask a couple of questions before we moved on to Sunobi, because they're back on Go Solo. One of them is I just wanted to make sure that the information that you were pulling up in terms of the EPCs and stuff like that, where can we find that information again?
it's in your red line list, also known as the EPC dealer list. So it's a list of all the EPCs everywhere with your red lines. I'm sure you have it somewhere.
Okay, and with Go Solo, I know with the adders and stuff like that, we can also go in there and also change some of the equipment out, correct? So if we need to add like EV charging station or backup battery or something like that, we can do that in the hamburger section of Go Solo, correct?
Correct. Yep. It's all set up so that you can manually input stuff. We didn't code it because obviously everybody has different pricing. So we can't put a standard fee for a main service panel if we're going to eat $1,000 later down the road. We don't want you guys to eat anything on that. One thing I do want to mention, and I forgot to mention to you guys on the Go Solo here, the dealer fees. When you see dealer fees here, and I'll use Good Leap as an example because we have probably 35 different Good Leap accounts, and all of them have different dealer fees. Now we're going to select the highest dealer fee out of all of them to standardize it in here because we don't want you guys to make a mistake and add a dealer fee that is incorrect, and then you guys come back with 10% less or more on your commission because you didn't put the right dealer fee. Instead, what we've done is we've added the highest dealer fee in here. Now, we might be able to get this dealer fee through a different installer at 26%. So that's a 4% difference. And that difference, you're going to see it on your pay statement once we do the project payout, which is again, next week we're going to talk about how to look at Podio and project payout, the client's app, and all these other things. But basically, you're going to have a printout of every fee and everything that is getting taken off of the project as an adder. And if there's an adjustment and the difference between dealer fees is $500 to $600, you're going to get that at the end of the deal. We're not going to keep it. Okay, so we put the highest dealer fee just in case somebody makes a mistake. You're not on the bottom end of that mistake. Okay, you're not on the negative side of that mistake. So this is basically a safety net. So we're going to put the highest dealer fees in there from the highest dealer, but you're going to get credited at the end of the day once we do the true up on the sale. And that's just because we had to do it this way on Go Solo. It's just, I'm not going to explain the reasons why because it's complicated. But this is the only thing we had to bake in there for Go Solo. Okay.
So question. Can you go back to that, please?
Yeah.
So, for that final price per watt is what we would be charging, right?
The final price per watt is what's going to be the loan amount, also known as the loan amount.
Okay, so this the override base price per watt is what we would be charging, is what you're saying.
The override base price per watt is going to be that's going to be the final installation cost. So anything below that to your base is a commission. It's all commission from there. So you can calculate your base minus that is going to be your commission. So that's
and you will multiply that answer by what? By how many watts or how many kilowatts?
It's going to be in watts. So let's say,
Okay,
for example, again, your base is $3. You're gonna subtract $3 from $4.30. It's gonna leave you with $1.30. All right.
Dollar
And you're gonna
cent.
take
Yeah.
$1.30, and you're gonna multiply that by whatever the system size is. In this case, it's gonna be 10,227 watts. Okay, not
Okay.
kilowatts. 10,237. Oop, something like that. Times 1.3, right? $13,000. So that's gonna be your
Okay.
commission. Okay.
All right. So another question. On that screen right there, as far as the where you can change where the panels are,
Uh-huh. Right here.
how would that, yeah, how would that, what would that affect? Like if you were to change them from where, like the how they are red in the back and just put those in the front, if there was another space where it was red where you could
Um,
add them. So
I'll tell you what. Once you're past 100%, I wouldn't put anything on the north side, and the north side is basically anything that's on the other side of that ridge. I'll explain it to you through Sunobi really quick because it's easier to visualize.
okay,
But anytime you put panels on the north side, it's going to mess with the system size and the financials. So it's going to become less and less of a good deal for the customer if you put more panels on the north. Honestly, doesn't make a lot of
okay,
sense. So I would
okay,
maximize whatever is on the even that one, even this top array here is still facing kind of
hmm,
northwest. So it's not the best output, right? So output directly affects how much percentage of offset you're getting.
hmm.
But every time you add a panel, it's going to add a cost to the system and it's going to increase the payment, but it's not going to do much to the offset because it's so low productive. So it doesn't make
So
sense to do it.
yeah, because my thing is I got a proposal that has panels like on the back patio, but I see like on the proposal there's a space where there's red panels, and I took the ones out the back patio and put them on the front basically, and put I will put the same amount on there, and I
Mm-hmm.
just want to know like if there will be a price difference or is there
Here,
would it
let me
affect
show
how?
you. I'm going to show you something right here. There's a little link that says show details underneath production there. You see it right
Uh-huh.
here? You click
Right.
that and it's going to show you a little table. And it's important to see this thing called sun hours right there.
Okay.
So and it tells you which array has the highest sun hours. So if you're going to choose array number 2, for example, I'm
Mm,
assuming it's that one to the north. Let me see. I'm going to click 1 and just add 1 here, just so we can see
okay.
the sun hours. So sun hours is going to directly affect the financials of the project. So there you go. This has 900 sun hours. It's almost half of what your other arrays will put out. So the more
Okay.
panels you put on there, the more expensive the project's going to get, the higher the payment is going to go to the customer, and the lower commission you're going to get. So
Okay.
it almost directly affects how much you're going to make and how much the customer is going to offset and how happy that customer is going to be. Only do that when you really need to offset 100% to get to that 100% mark, then you do it. But anytime you go over 100%, try not to use anything that has less than like 1100 sun hours. Honestly, it's not going to look good.
Okay.
So sun
I'll
hours, yeah.
if it's okay, I'll try to call you after this just to get more information on it because I'm actually looking at I had a proposal kind of like something similar to that. If that's okay with you, I'll call you.
Yeah, yeah, no worries. So yeah, you can do that. Let's go through this Sunobi one really quick. This is going to be really fast, guys. I mean, it's a really useful tool. I can get you guys logins to Sunobi, but you need to have an iPad. If you don't have an iPad, it won't work. I can send you a proposal through Sunobi, which looks like this. Let me show you. Let's just go through this one. Done. Click here. Oops, that's not even ready yet. Let me see if this one has, yep, this one has so you can get a link that you can present that looks like this. And the only things you can move around on this is basically going to be this inflation calculator or this inflation bar. You can't move anything else other than that. And from here, you can get the finance docs done and the installation documents sent. So this is the only thing you can do with a link to the proposal, which you can use on an iPad, you can use on a MacBook, on a PC, on an Android phone. You can use this proposal to present it on any of these different platforms, but you can't move anything else other than that. Now, just to give you an example, let me go to what is this? Does anybody want to use an address as an example to build a proposal? Or I can just do one here really quick. Hang on.
I got one on
Let's
file
do.
that you actually just pulled up. It was Charvaz McLean.
Was it in here? I thought I
Yeah,
saw
I
it.
saw it. It was like 1227, 1224 West Lake Buckeye Drive.
Okay, Tampa. Okay, so
Lakeland. I mean, Winter
okay. So this one, I just kind of wanted to show you when you type in the address, automatically you see a bunch of names up here. These are all the property owners or people that are potential property owners, I should say. And it's specifically the ones with like with a little stick figure next to it. That's typically who's on title. But you see, there's like so many different last names here. This might be a rental property or something, but it looks like Charvaz McLean might be the owner. So we'll go ahead and click that one. This isn't really taking us to the design page, is it, editor? Yeah, we skipped a few steps here, but we'll just, is this the home right here?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Okay, we'll just click yes, and then we'll get started on here. If you have the iPad and you have a login, you're going to be able to do this, okay? So you're just going to click the corners on the roof, and then to make the final adjustments, you can zoom in and kind of move the roof around. Make sure it's kind of squared perfectly. We're going to go ahead and click the green check mark next, and then add the angle of the roof. You can just do this by eyeballing it, okay? You don't have to be precise, but I know that this roof is typically going to be right around 24, 25 is the standard, right? I didn't check it. Usually I would go on Google Earth or something like that, and I'd go on the street and take a look at it. But anyway, you see there's like a little basketball on the right side there. Basically what they mean by that is if you were to drop a basketball at the ridge of this, which way would it fall down? Okay, so it would fall down that way, and that's how you select the azimuth, right? Some folks who are newer don't really kind of understand this yet, or what the azimuth is and all that, but this makes it kind of easy so you can just understand. If I drop a basketball at the ridge line up at the top there, it'll roll down, and that's the pitch of the roof, or that's the azimuth. Now in terms of shading, I'm going to go ahead and put some medium shading here because it looks like it's pretty heavily shaded actually. Let me go back here. Yeah, let's just go with medium. All right, we'll stop there. And then setbacks, I want to not put setbacks on the bottom and on the left, maybe just on the two sides there. Because some setbacks are different here. So okay, so this put out a bunch of panels for me. Now I'm not going to use the north side roof because it's just not going to look good, and there's a ton of shading. Let's see what we can do with this side of the roof first. So right now it's kind of designing it for me. So it looks like I'm at 81% offset with 52 panels. Okay. This is already a very, very large system. One thing I want to check is I want to make sure that my usage is correct. So does that 30,000 kilowatt hours, does that seem about right on this one? What are they paying? What's their monthly payment?
It was about the last one the bill that I saw was like 286.
Ooh, that's gonna be higher. Well, I mean, you have to take the 12 months and even it out. It can't be like the last one. We have to look at the whole 12-month graph and really.
Well, let's just say about 250 let's just say an average to 250.
All right, yeah, let's do that. 250. Just so we can get closer to 100% on this one. All right. So 250. Oh shit. Actually, let's go to 75, and then here we'll go. Is it not letting me adjust this? Oh, okay, I have to press these buttons. So 19. There we go. Let's see what that does. Oops. So hit enter here. There we go. 102%. Oh, wait. You said $175, right? 126% offset. See, I'm making adjustments here to make it match. I mean, I don't have the utility bill in front of me, so I'm kind of doing this blind. But I want to make it so that it's a good deal for the customer, and we're not like over promising something. Oh shit! I gotta add 3 more, I guess. So this is the kind of stuff we do before we deliver this proposal to you guys. Otherwise, you guys can kind of do this on your own. But I'm going to say that's close enough, just so we can get to the numbers. Now, this is in Florida. There's a lot of shading. I don't know what their rate per kilowatt hour is. I'm assuming it's going to be pretty high. But let's go ahead and move back, and then here we're going to go to the page where we actually mess around with the pricing and stuff like that, right? This is going to require a panel upgrade because it's let's just hit an upgrade here. It's a very large system. Unless it's a brand new panel, let's just go with 200 amps with a 225 bus. And we're going to derate the panel. All right, it's telling me what I need to do, right? So here, if you have a picture of the main service panel, you can always put in what the amperage is of the main breaker, and then the sticker. If the sticker says 225, you can put that in there, and that just means that you're going to have a huge capacity, and you don't have to do a panel upgrade. So it's important to know what kind of panel they have, right? All right, so here we're going to adjust the loan. The base price here is set at around $350. Let's make it $3. I mean, I'm trying to get it so this loan makes a lot of sense, right? Or so that it makes some sense to the customer. 25-year, 149. Payment is still $252 versus their $209. So this is looking like a tough deal to me. Unless we use maybe like a flex pay, 60 months, so 5-year, 298 flex pay will bring their payment down for the first 5 years to $199. Now, what this means is they can pay $200 a month for 5 years, and their aim is going to be to pay off that loan within the next 5 years. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So you give them a $199 payment for the next 5 years, and then your goal is to pay this loan off in the next 5 years. Otherwise, their payment goes up to $400. Okay, so that's how I would sell it, because I mean, people want to see savings on any any deal that you send them. Like, they want to see they don't want to pay more for it. It's gonna be. It's rare to find somebody that says, I don't mind, just my payment's going to be like
You're all right.
$80 higher.
I can't even really hear that.
So anyway, so there's that. And so the next step is to go to the proposal. You can either send it to yourself, or you can preview it. And right now there's no email for the customer, so you can send it to the customer as well, but there's no customer information yet. But basically this is a completed proposal, right? This is what we want to show. I mean, obviously here we didn't choose the flex pay. Let me go back here and change it. So I'll click on Goodleap here on the left, or just change it to flex pay, 60-month, 20-year, 298. I think this is going to give them kind of the best economics, right? And it's going to kind of force them to go out and get this thing paid out, or bought down by the end of year 5, which is the goal. Everybody's goal is to like get rid of debt, or investment debts in this case, and make it a better deal. So here you go. Oh, somebody's calling me. There we go. So still, I mean, this is still offering around $46,000 in savings over 25 years. Even with a no money out of pocket investment, they're saving a bunch of money. Like, no matter how you dice it, solar is always going to be a better option than the utility company, no matter how you look at it. Because of the incentives, there's a huge incentive they're going to get. And then you can always toggle here. You can toggle if they keep the tax credit, what that looks like. Their payment changes. It goes from $198 to $552 if they kept the incentives. If they use the incentives to pay down the loan, then their payment goes from $200 to $400. This button is sticky. There we go. Okay. It's just a little slow. So if you look at this, the most savings over 25 years is going to be if they put down the tax credit. Environmental impact, solar steps to get it interconnected, pretty standard stuff. And then here you can get the application done. Now this one's different. We don't take them to our own form. This goes right to GoodLeap, which, if you're already doing it there, just get it done. And if they don't qualify, then, we might have to look for a different lender. But depending on where you are, which state, we may have a ton of options. Like California, it's rare that we get anybody that has low credit and we're not able to get them approved for anything. We probably get them on a lease or a PPA or something like that. But that's that. So I'm going to go ahead and stop it here, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I guess you guys, well, actually, if you guys have any questions about what we just looked at, right now is the time to go ahead and pull them up, and we'll get them answered. Nope, everyone good? All right. So in this chat, again, we have the phone numbers. Can we go ahead and put the app, the form app in there, please? The link to the forms? Yes, please. So you guys have it, and you can put it on your phone. So if you have an iPad, then just go ahead and ask Luis. We'll get you guys a login, okay? Just talk to him directly. You guys have his number, I'm sure we have. But if not, just reach out to me, and then I'll direct you to him. All right, guys. Cool. So it looks like there's no more questions. Next week, we'll touch on something easier. I know this was like a very, kind of long overview. We wanted to pack a lot of the stuff into this one, but next week, stay tuned. We don't have sort of an itinerary yet of the next meeting of what we're going to talk about, but we'll put it together. We'll send it out in the next couple of days so that if any of these topics interest you, then we'll go ahead and talk about those things. But I think Podio will definitely be in the next one. How to navigate, how to look at it. We're migrating a lot of the operational stuff into our own software that we're developing right now. So that's probably going to be ready in the next 30 days. So Podio might not be the place where you're going to look at that stuff anymore. I know for some folks it's a little bit complicated to understand it, but once you get the hang of it, it's not that bad, actually. Go ahead, Isabel. Do you have a question?
Yeah, I realized that the session is being recorded. Are we able to gain access to it via email?
Yeah, we'll send it out to you guys. We have the email list, so we're going to go ahead and put the two, because I think the recording got stopped somewhere in the middle, but we're going to go ahead and stitch them together and send it out.
Oh, great. Thank you.
You guys. Yep. Yeah, we touched subjects such as Aurora designs, and then Gosolo, and then I think you came in when we started the Sunobi one. So yeah, we'll send it out to you so you can take a look at that. Any other questions, guys? No? Cool. All right. Well, I'm Manny Venteria. Again, if you guys have any questions, if you guys need any help with in-house sales and stuff like that, any tips, go ahead and reach out to me. I'll get you guys sorted out, and I'll see you here next week, same time, noon
Thank
Pacific.
you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Noon Pacific, next Wednesday. I want to start doing more sales training and stuff like that with you guys. So for the newer folks, we'll get together and talk about strategies on how to close deals and stuff like that. All right.
All right.
Cool, guys. All right. Take care. Have a great rest of the week.
Thanks, Manny. Take it easy.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Manny.
Yep.